Do you not, are you not inspired by this art? Would you have preferred your legendary creature be a little bit more masculine? You're anti-diversity. Gotcha. Probably should have had you comment first so I could publicly shame you for having an opinion on a card in the game you love. Yes! We have, instead of Blackbeard, we get Gray Bush. Isn't that awesome? Now, obligatory art is subjective. I find this a little cartoonish, but I actually like it on the card. Looks cool, pops. Much love to the artist. Although I noticed that there's not a person of color in this picture, so confirmed racist. Sorry, dude. You know, you outed yourself there. Now, when this card was spoiled, I sent out a snark tweet. I have a lot of snark. I'm very snarky. Some people, they call me worse. But to be honest, once you get to know me, you'll realize it's just kind of like my default setting. Like, snark is at 11, always. And it's just, it's no ill will. Just having a little goof, a little gaff, a bit of a meme, a little joke, little elbow, like push a little, you know, make the kind of jokes that get like one old guy, ha, like I make this joke and I say to myself, ha, and then that's it. Like I move on. I send out some days 30, 40 tweets a day. I don't really put much stock. Like the value of my tweets, the market is flooded with snark tweets by me. So any one particular snark tweet just doesn't carry a lot of value. But to people on the outside who don't follow my Twitter and know that I have a PhD in snarkology, they often get, what are the kids saying? Or is this kind of a dead meme now? Triggered. So today I was just minding my own business, working, doing snark-related things, taking care of business. And I checked Twitter, and there is a reply on. So I tweeted out, when was this? The 31st? How many days ago was that? One? I guess it's not that far. I guess at 9 o'clock at night, and he found it today. Okay, fine. I said, as a young man, I always fantasized about being a strong, powerful octogenarian. WotC has lost the plot, and they don't care. I was wrong about that last part. They have not lost the plot. This is their plot. This is the plot they want. Much as childless weirdos seem to have ruined Marvel, we get, with their forced diversity. And if you don't like it, you're anti-diversity. Did you shake your head in agreement with me? Did you? Careful. It's always a trap, see, with these people. It's always a trap. You can't have a personal opinion. No. Everything you say is a statement of absolute fact. And, it was a pretty innocuous tweet. It's not like it, had a ton of traction. A couple favorites, a couple comments. Certainly a couple comments disagreeing with me, a couple comments agreeing with me. Great. It's a pretty typical tweet by me. Then this morning, and Twitter, I don't have hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers, so I pretty much know who's going to reply to anything, like by their avatar or their username. It's really not that. So when somebody I don't recognize replies, I'm kind of like more interested in who they are, right? So I'm like, oh, here's an avatar of a good-looking girl. Who's this? Oh, she has like 700 followers. That's weird. Um, but what she said, wow, this thread. Not every painting has to contain a half-naked, skinny, and young woman. Thumbs up for variety. Even though, see how what these pearl clutchers with 6 roommates and 1-bedroom apartments, they like to twist your words and put words right in your mouth. Like, it's so weird when they do it on Twitter, because I literally just said I fantasize about being a strong, powerful octogenarian. Not, ooh, a flabby old woman. Not pass. Why isn't she a size 024 with some double D's? Nope, didn't say that either. Just said it's an old lady. Not impressed. So I'm like, what do you mean this thread? Like, this person's obviously, I'm like, it's like we're like in the Old West, and like we're all sitting at the bar, drinking our whiskeys, and then like somebody walks in, you're like, she ain't from around here. So I knew something was up. So I'm like, okay, let's see. I click on it, but before you know it, I see this is like, it's okay, so 7 hours ago, whenever that was, this morning, early afternoon. And then, Twitter isn't my whole life. I actually work. So I see later, Jason Rainville is replying on here like extensively. Actually, we have him and I have a different thread. Sorry. A couple times. I see his first interaction with this guy ever. Are you serious? There are instances of older women pirates in the real world. Grace O'Malley and Saidia whoever he Googled. Obviously, he Googled these people. Operating in their 50s and 60s. And, these savage comments like, personal taste, I'd rather have Captain Blackbeard. I just think it's cooler than an old lady. Fair, right? I agree. Blackbeard over gray bush, please. But the people that think this way are never satisfied by that. You can't have a preference. See, if I say, I'm really into Asian chicks, like, I'm down with that. They don't say like, oh, that's cool. You have a personal preference. They're like, well, why don't you like black people? Why don't you like Irish? Why don't you like quadriplegics? Why don't you like trans people? Are you transphobe? People are allowed to have personal preference. My personal preference is that I don't think an old lady is badass. And this is not just an innocuous character, okay? This tweet has some context. This is not just some, if you don't play Magic, you won't, the term legendary creature maybe won't, like, it might not make sense, but this is like a very rare card, and they're also the most powerful. And also, this will be a commander. Fine, pirate commander sounds cool. Love it. In fact, I'm loving the flavor of this set. Pirates and dinosaurs, sign me up. But I don't think an old lady's particularly badass. That's just my opinion. Okay? I'm like, okay, Jason, that sounds familiar. I go in, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me look at let me look at this. Who drew this? Oh, it's the actual artist of the card. Interesting. I'm on the artist's radar. Okay. I happen to know the history of this card. This card is a portrait of his mother. Cool. I'm not a fan of when people put themselves in comic books, milkshake girls. But if you want to pay homage to your mother, I think that's pretty rad. And if it fits the flavor of the set and like you don't crowbar it in, I think that's awesome. It's a huge win for an artist. I can't imagine. That's got to be. I'm happy for him. I don't know if his mom's alive or dead or whatever, but I think that's very cool. Much respect to your parents. But then I'm like, well, where is this even coming from? So before his followers came onto my feed, he said, apparently some folks are mad that there's an older person on an MTG card. They know there are other types of people in the world, right? This is a classic tweet. Oh, and I don't think I said anything about being mad. I mean, I guess it's snark. I guess we'll give them that. I wasn't mad. People read my tweets and they think like, geez, why are you getting all worked up? And I'm like, I wrote this tweet while I was taking a poop, right? Like, I'm not upset. Like, if I'm really angry about something, I'll probably make a video like this. And I'll say here, like I said, right here to this Christina, I said, I agree. Of course. But, this guy gets completely triggered. Look at all these. He's just like going nuts, right? And he later, so this is why she must have seeked me out. I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. Don't care. But this thread with Rainville reaches epic levels. I mean, epic. I want to find I need to find the replies. Give me one momento. Uno momento, por favor. Uno momento. Uno momento. Por favor. All right. So, no, this isn't the... Again, I'd argue she's not lame. I like older badasses here and there. Like, we can't really agree on whether or not... The narrative, like, that... this is a great self-burn. Are you serious? Grace O'Malley, Xander. Xander comes in, he's like, okay, Grace O'Malley. Yes! Please. I like Grace O'Malley. Put her on a card. 90% of the people that play your game are teenage boys or early 20s. Which would you have preferred this pirate look like? This or like this? That's my entire point. But that is not good enough for Mr. Rainville. He later accuses me of being anti-diversity because I want to get to... We actually had two threads going, and both were, both hilarious here. I started, so I noticed he was subtweeting me. This is how these people work, right? He's subtweeting me, and he instantly replies. He doesn't follow me on Twitter, but he just must have been sitting there refreshing my Twitter feed because he's the first person in. I don't know. It seems like you mistook... You took issue with MTG lost the thread. That's not what I said, but, lost the plot, but whatever. And then he's like, please elaborate. So he's like, please explain yourself. I recognize at this point I know he is, so I said the card is well drawn, not for everybody, just like all things. A single tweet isn't exactly being mad about it. And then at this point, honestly, much respect to you, Jason. You didn't block me, and we actually had some pretty good discourse. I think at the end, we basically agreed to disagree, right? But this is the problem I have, right? So I'm not too precious about it. So I'm like, okay, this guy's cool. I think I replied back, and I was like, oh, yeah, Deadlock Trap. He said people didn't like it. I liked it fine. He says, so when I see pushback against that, people being against diversity, then I comment to inquire or correct. So obviously he has the power to correct. He noticed somebody had like a salty comment about it. Somebody replied back and said something like, there were no lady pirates. Well, of course. I mean, of course, I'm sure there were. And he's just like, there's tons of badass dudes in the set. Why does this one get singled out when there's so many men? And I explained to him because it's a legendary creature and a large portion of the internet was swooning about how stunning and brave it was. Right? And basically, he says, I love nudity, sex appeal, sexuality, blah, blah, but it's the right context. Who decides it's the right... Like, this is just pearl clutching. People don't want weak heroes. That's why we fantasize about them. People don't think like that. And if you don't think there's more to the narrative to this, look at this. We have one wallpaper to download. Okay? Complete list of wallpapers. Woman, woman, old woman. The last three have all been women, which is fine. In fact, I would prefer to have like this as my background. This is fine. I think this is cool. In fact, it'll probably look pretty rad as a playmat. But there's a narrative here. Of course there is. There's a reason that they picked her. There's a reason that Jason is so touchy about it. And if you read his Twitter, you know he's one of those people that push diversity. There's nothing wrong with diversity. There's a problem with diversity for diversity's sake. It's like, why can't these people get that? But if you made it to the end of this video, I would love to hear your opinion. I'm sorry you had to out yourself as being anti-diversity, but it's a tough world out there, and hopefully you'll be able to find work. Because I'm definitely going to screenshot all your comments and send them to your future employers. So, tough break.